Hi everybody, back again for Raw review. And I want to apologize for last week. My stuff's just been acting weird, and I'm just sorry. Like, I'm just new to this. I'm trying my hardest, and things keep going wrong. I keep getting busy, and blah 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 blah. But whatever, all I can do is look to the future. And speaking of the future, guess what, everybody? Finally got a spit guard. Yeah. Now my voice is going to sound like 10 times better than before. I think it sounds great. Like, listening through my headphones, it sounds pretty damn good. I like it. So yeah, I hope that you guys like it too, and I hope it actually sounds really good. Last week my audio didn't really record and do the microphone, and I had to use the camera audio, so that's why the video sucked last week. And I've been frustrated and blah. But yeah, I'm back again this week, and we're gonna review Raw, we're gonna review SmackDown, we're gonna review NXT, we're reviewing everything, and then I'm gonna hit you with a weekly roundup sometime this weekend. Okay? Y'all cool with that? I am. Let's do this Raw review because it's 1:29 in the morning and I want to go to bed and go to the gym tomorrow. And these videos usually take me an hour. Okay. First off, we start in the ring with the big announcement from Stephanie McMahon. Vince is in there. He starts and he invites out Stephanie and Triple H. So they come out, and Triple H, he thanks all the superstars. He says, thanks to you guys, this company has been going great and blah blah blah, and you guys put on great matches and all that. And he asks all the women step forward, and he talks about how these women earned all the respect from him and all the respect from the fans. They earned every bit of respect from everybody, and that he's really proud of them. And he looks like a proud dad because a lot of these women were from NXT, and Triple H did write them. He did script them, and he made them awesome. He made some really awesome characters, and I love it. I'm happy to see Triple H. He actually was about to tear up, it seemed like, which was really nice, really sweet. He looks like a proud dad, which I liked. He's just proud of everybody in there. And this leads to Stephanie saying, all this stuff like, yeah, you guys did this, you did that, you main evented all these big shows and blah, blah, blah. Now, it's time for you to have your own show, and they announced Evolution, the first ever women's pay-per-view. And yeah, great news, man. And Michael Cole afterwards announced that they will have the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT women's titles defended there, and the Mae Young Classic final will be there too. So that's a pretty big show so far. There's going to be 50 women there apparently, all from the past and present, which should be awesome. And, I think maybe in the future, because there might be some women who come in, from all over the world. See some UK stars. I am excited for this pay-per-view, actually. Like I said, the 28th of October, I am definitely going to watch it. And I'll do a review on it, because I think this is great, I really like the women wrestlers of now. I remember growing up with the Ruthless Aggressions, and then the PG era of the women, early PG era, and then I stopped watching, and then I got back into it. But yeah, I remember watching, and I was just disappointed in the women. But then you get Sasha Banks, you get Charlotte Flair, you got Bayley, you got Becky, then Asuka comes in, then more women come in, Alexa, you got all these women who are all great. Sure, is Alexa the best? No, but you know what? Compared to the old women, the women of old, she's still pretty good. Sure, you got problems like Carmella, but you know what? At least it's better than it used to be. Because I remember seeing bra and panties matches all the time, seeing the women, like Stephanie even mentioned that women went from 30-second matches to the main events of the show. The only women who actually did great matches back in the day were Trish Stratus and Lita. All the other women were just supermodels because you had John Laurinaitis being the head of talent relations, and all he wanted was super babes to get little boys like I was to be like, ooh la la, that's a hot lady, and have her first boners and stuff. That's all he cared about. And now look at it. I mean, I think it's been better than ever. You've finally got, a lot of female fans coming in. There's lots of women who are getting big into wrestling because of how the women are starting to be treated, and they're all getting these opportunities, and they're putting on great matches, and now they're going to get their own show, their own pay-per-view, and I think that's great. I wonder if this will even lead to their own little show that they do every week, which I'd be all in for. Let's see what happens. Why not? Something to go alongside with them being on Raw and SmackDown. Something where just you film 4 weeks of TV and you have women's storylines develop on there, which would be pretty great. All right. Now let's get on. I went on for 4 minutes about that. B-Team backstage. Axel says he's excited for Evolution, and I'm like, all right, yeah. I mean, you gotta. We just heard about that, but I mean, okay, whatever. They're all like, yeah, now it's time for us to go out there and defend our titles. Bo is like, this is a great run we've had. You're like the brother I've never had, which I thought was really funny. A funny line, which a lot of people were laughing about, it seemed like. And we get back, and Elias is on stage. I'm confused. I'm like, why's Elias on there? He's like, hello, I'm Elias. My debut album, Oh, yes. And then, boom, Matt Hardy comes out, which I thought was really funny. That made me laugh. And Coach, he was like, oh, I didn't get to say my Elias was part of my word of the night. And I had a word of the night. I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of Coach. Can he get fired? He It's like if you put a casual fan into the wrestling booth and had him call wrestling matches. That's Jonathan Coachman, goddammit. Alright, match 1. B-Team versus the Deleter of Worlds for the World Tag Team titles. Bo and Matt start. They fight out for a bit, but then Bray gets in, starts to dominate everybody. Axel tries to interfere, but the Deleters of Worlds get their control back. And Bray, he does his branching Sister Abigail, Master, and do the delete. And, they cut to commercial. Come back, B-Team has commercial. Coach, he doesn't seem to understand how rematch clauses work. He's like, well, what happens if Bray and Matt win, and do they get a rematch? He's like, yes, they get a rematch. Coach, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been... I can't handle you anymore. You're so bad. I'm going to put up some more posters, I think. And one of them might be Kill Jonathan Coachman. I might make that. Kill Jonathan Coachman. New slogan. Bray, he hits a clothesline onto I think it's Axel for the hot tag. Hardy, he deletes for a while. There's a twist of fate for a near fall. Bo breaks it up. Bray is knocked Matt is sitting up, and Bray gets knocked into a mat, and Axel rolls him up, and they win. I say it was better than the pay-per-view match. If this was on the pay-per-view, I would probably give it if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 6, slightly above average match. And yeah, it was 6 out of 10, slightly above average match. I mean, I'm not going to do ratings for every match on the show because, I I only do that for the pay-per-views, but it was a really good match. Not really, but I mean, it was a decent little match, better than the pay-per-view one. And Matt and Bray are like, wait, wonderful, yes, and yeah, and they just beat the shit out of them. Which I hope this leads to Tag Team Apocalypto. Ooh, please, you got like so many cool teams on there. Imagine what they could do. And then all the cameos and all the stuff you can do. Do it! I want Tag Team Apocalypto 2. I want it. And I want it now. Do it at SummerSlam. Please. Finn and Gable backstage. They're still talking about the women's pay-per-view. Finn's stuff's getting moved. He's like, why are you taking my stuff? And they're like, yeah, we're moving to a new locker room by word of Baron Corbin. They go back, and it's moved to a playhouse. And I'm like, what a dork Baron Corbin is. And he's like, ha ha ha, now you're going to have to change in there. And Finn's like, you know what? I've always wanted a Finn fun house. And he's smiling and all happy. And then Baron Corbin is pissed off that he's all smiley and happy. And I laugh my ass off. I actually howled laughing. That was so funny to me. He's like, hey, well, you're going to get your ass kicked by Drew McIntyre. I'm like, you're the one who gave him the fun house. He's having fun. Like, you shouldn't have given him a fun house if you didn't want him to have fun. And then, the low point of the show. They recap what happened last week with Bayley and Sasha. And they're friends again. Fuck me. And they talk about the Evolution pay-per-view for a third time in a row. It's like every segment backstage is going to talk about the women's pay-per-view. Which, I mean, I understand for them because they're the women. They're going to be a part of it. But why did Finn and Gable have to talk about it? Why did the B team have to talk about it? It's like everybody talks about it on the show tonight. I'm gonna tell you every time they talk about it. It's Sasha Bayley versus Jobbers. They dominate. Match over with a bank statement, and then they hug at the end of the match. I'm tired of this feud, and it's so stupid. Now they're friends again. I joked when I said that. Oh, they're gonna make up again. And what they do, they made up again. I'm tired of this. This is, again, how many times have they broken up? This show is on a loop. It's a repeat every time. This is the worst feud I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a worse feud. My God. Sure, there's probably some feuds in the Attitude Era that were worse. Because, I mean, let's be honest, there were Attitude Era when it came to some of their feuds, especially in the mid card and lower mid card, Beaver Cleavage and Meat. Yeah, you forgot about that one. Those weren't good. There's probably worse feuds there, but you know what? At least those feuds didn't last forever. I am tired of this. And also, I didn't talk about this, but I heard a lot of people asking, not me, but I mean, all over on Twitter and on a lot of podcasts I listen to about what's the deal with Bayley and Sasha? Are they lesbian now because Sasha said I love you, Bayley? It's really? You really thought? Look, I mean, if that's the direction I wanted to go, I mean, I'm cool with that. That's not a bad idea. I mean, but well, I mean, you know what? It would be a bad idea because I just don't think WWE could do it right. And I think it'd be too weird for people, to see how WWE handles a lesbian relationship. It's like they can barely handle normal relationships. How are they going to handle a lesbian one? I got no problem with gay people at all. And, there's no problem with me. It's just that I don't trust WWE with handling gay people. It's like when people ask, like, because Finn Balor, there's reports that he might be bisexual and that, he's wearing the LGBT stuff. I could actually have him, be LGBT with his character, do more stuff like, him talking about being gay. It's like it's WWE. They're not going to do it right. I mean, Vince McMahon is approving all this. Do you really think Vince McMahon is going to do an LGBT storyline right? No, I don't think so. Like, last time WWE had a gay storyline, they had the Billy and Chuck thing, but that Vince stabbed Glam in the back, where, like, he said, like, yeah, we're going to have a gay wedding, and then at the gay wedding, they said, no, we're not actually gay. Which Glam was pissed about, and and Vince was trying to be like, oh, well, I don't care why. Oh, and then like the week before the wedding, they had just two random girls come and make out. They're called the Lesbians. Yeah, my mom made me turn off the Raw when I was a kid a lot. Like it was that, and then the Triple H humping a corpse. Those were the times I remember. Okay. Elias again. He talks about his debut album, gets rumped by Bro. I was like, alright, that's funny too. Funny the second time. Braun, he talks about evolution again. We get it. Like every time in a row. But he's like, I am especially happy for my mixed match tag partner Alexa, and I was like, oh, they're such a cute little couple, kind of couple thing. I mean, I know she's like dating I think it's Murphy. I think she's dating Murphy, but I mean, it's adorable, like her and Braun. That's cute. See, he says the match between Roman and Bob doesn't matter because he's Mr. Monster in the Bank, and whoever wins is going to get cashed in on at SummerSlam. There's no way anybody but Braun's walking out with that title at SummerSlam. Fans wanted to see Braun as Universal Champion. They were going crazy when he's talking about, like, who wants to see me as Universal Champion? Everybody goes crazy. Next, KO comes out. And he's all bandaged up and is mad at Braun for forgetting, like, you're trying to forget me, putting me to the background. You almost killed me and ended my career. He said, Braun, my son wanted to team with you like you teamed with Nicholas. I wanted to be your friend, so and maybe my son could have teamed with you, and you guys could have been tag champs. And you ruined that. And he crushed his kids because they thought their dad was indestructible. But now they're afraid for their dad walking down the stairs because they saw big, mean Braun Strowman destroy him. How is Braun the babyface? He made Kevin's kids feel bad. He destroyed Kevin Owens. And all Kevin did was run away from him. And I mean, sure, at Money in the Bank, he tried to have everybody team up against him. But I mean, the ladder thing was kind of his comeuppance, where he got tossed out the 20-foot ladder through the tables. And he's like, listen, how about I be your friend? And then Braun decides, no, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, oh my God. And Kevin's like, I won that cage match, and I want to take everything from you. You took everything from me. I want to take everything from you. And Braun's like, come on and try. And says, your problems have just begun, Braun. Next thing you know, Baron Corbin comes out. He makes a joke about Finn, and then he says, like, Braun, I'm going to help you. And he sends Jinder Mahal out to go teach Braun to be more peaceful. And he says, Braun, let me help you. You're full of anger. And he says, Braun, close your eyes and copy me. Shanti. Shanti. And Braun's like, I have my own mantra. He's like, little man. He's pointing at Sunil's thing. He's like, come over here. And he says, I want both of you to close your eyes. And everybody in the WWE Universe to close your eyes. Get these hands. Get these hands. Then Jinder's like, oh shit, he's going to kill us. So Jinder tries to attack him, but Braun murders him. He murders Sunil. He throws Sunil at Jinder, knocking Jinder out of the ring. Picks up Sunil by his neck. Then power slams Sunil right to... kills him with a power slam. This was kind of cool. You know, it's like... I like this little feud. Next, we get Natalya versus Mickie James. Lots of headlocks from Mickie James. Natty gets some control. There's an electric chair drop, which Mickie James sold like death. Like, her knees went right to her forehead, which I was like, damn, Mickie. She's a great seller, honestly. That's one thing I never praise about Mickie James, which I should praise a lot more, is that Mickie James is probably one of the best sellers I've ever seen. Because, I mean, when she sells a move, it's like, oh, shit, she died. Natty, she falls through the ropes, almost breaks her neck. One of two instances tonight where somebody almost breaks their neck. Alexa distracts her, gets knocked out, and Mickie wins. It was just a Raw match. Nothing too exciting. Roman interview. Roman brings up his loss. He's like, yeah, that's right. I lost to Bobby at Extreme Rules. And he says, that'll stay on my record. But look at my record so far. It's like, I'm one of the most decorated wrestlers of this generation. And, like, it's like, you're not at Okada level yet, Roman. All right? I mean, sure, you won the title a lot, but, I mean, you're not at Okada level. Not the best of this generation. Roman has a black eye for some reason, which I'm like, oh, that's weird. Hey, I wonder if there's a house show or something. I haven't kept up on the news, I guess. I gotta bring back that weekly roundup because I worked hard on the intro for it. He actually did a pretty good promo here, I think. He's like, I'm gonna go, and beat Brock Lesnar, blah blah. But Roman, he's a good promo, and the crowd is kind of into him tonight, which I'm like, hey, I'm kind of happy for him. At least the crowd's into him tonight, and he can have one show where things go good. Elias is there again. He gets interrupted by AOP, and tonight's the night of repetition. They call out anyone but Titus Worldwide, but Titus Worldwide comes out anyways, which is like, they put over the AOP, and they're like, listen, you guys are the strongest guys in WWE right now, but you have a lot to learn because you're young men. And Razor says, how could you learn us? What could you learn us? What could you learn us? Good job, Razor. What could you learn us? Man, that might be my favorite quote of the year. Akam says, what are you going to teach us? He basically is like, oh yeah, sorry, Razor, you didn't get it. I think they were both trying to... I think Akam was trying to not laugh there because that was kind of funny. What could you learn us? He says, what could you teach us? How to fall down? And Titus is just like, I fall down many times. So if I keep getting up. And I've been here longer than you. And Apollo basically says that Titus is like a dad to him, which is like, aw, so nice. And he says, look at me. Ever since teaming up with Titus, I've been on Raw. I've got more. Basically, he's like, I got more TV time. I'm doing better for myself than I was on like SmackDown and stuff. Which I'm like, true. So yeah, AOP says, well, Titus, if you want to do us a favor, you should just retire. And then Titus is like, smacks him right in the face, and the big brawl, and they throw both AOP out of the ring. And I thought this was actually a pretty good segment. I was like not into it at first. I'm like, oh great, we're getting another match between these guys. But it's like by the end, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, yeah, at the end they got me kind of interested. I'm like, all right, All right, that was pretty cool. Everybody did a good job. Titus, Apollo, and AOP, they all did great. Except that one Razor flub right there. That was pretty funny. Kurt and Stephanie are backstage. Kurt is happy about the Evolution pay-per-view coming up. And Kevin and Corbin come in, and Steph asks if KO is okay. And KO's like, I am. But I'm mad that Kurt basically let this vendetta against Braun continue. Which is like, yeah, Kurt, you're kind of an asshole there. Kevin Owens is being tormented by Braun. And you're just like, yeah, I'm going to just enable it. And KO says, I want to face Braun. And I wonder for the Money in the Bank briefcase is going to be the match. It's going to be for the briefcase. And no matter how he wins, he gets that belt. Whether it's by pinfall, submission, DQ, or countout, or whatever. If Kevin Owens wins the match, he gets the Money in the Bank briefcase. And Steph says, yeah, it's a great idea. And does the match. Which I'm like, all right, that's interesting for SummerSlam. Kind of an interesting little story there, but okay, spoiler, Brock is going to be here. He's going to be at Raw next week. And why can't Braun just cash in on him next week when he shows up in the ring? And, you know, he doesn't need to go to SummerSlam. Or is he not going to do it out of respect for Kevin Owens, which he has no respect for him, it seems like. I don't know, this is... The more you think about it, the more it's kind of stupid. Tyler Breeze versus Mojo Rawley. Repetition. Fans go quiet. Tyler fights more. Mojo keeps having control. More fucking headlocks. That's what I wrote. Bobby Roode interview in the middle of the match, which was so weird. And he's butthurt that Mojo is like, hey, you failed. Which he did. Why are you so butthurt, Bobby? Tyler almost won with a roll-up, but then there's an Alabama Slam for the win. Squash with a weird interview is what I wrote for what this match is. Dolph and Drew. Dolph said they had a plan, and it worked because Dolph's the champ right now. And Drew says he's mad at Finn Balor for getting pinned in that triple threat match, and blames him for Drew not getting this opportunity for the Universal title this week. And India, he's basically like, I'm going to knock that smile off your face permanently. And I think Drew is kind of up there with Samoa Joe with being like one of the best promos in the company because he's just got so much intensity. Every word, I'm like, shit, this guy's awesome. I keep bumping into that. I need to get used to this right here. I really hope you guys can't hear that. And if you do, I'm sorry. Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre. After the Elias segment of again, I said rules of 3. God damn it. Rules of 3. You do it 3 times. 4 max. 3 times where he gets interrupted, and maybe the 4th, he's like, he finally gets to do his stuff. This is number 4. I'm like, my God. I get it. You want to every fucking time. Dolph comes out with Drew. Finn had a nasty bruise on his shoulder. I'm really surprised. I'm like, wow. What happened to these guys over the weekend? Roman's got a black eye. Finn's got a bruised shoulder. Who's... Sarah Logan wasn't there for some reason. I must have missed some news. I mean, it seems like a lot of people got hurt over the weekend or something. There's a noticeable size difference, which they point out. But, you know, Drew's kind of dominating. But Balor kicks him to the outside, hits a sweet tope suicida. Mamma mia. Go to commercial. Drew has control. Really showing off that alpha male dominance he shows off. And then there's a deadlift suplex. Finn Balor's on his knees, so Drew suplexes him from his knees, which I thought was, wow, spot of the night. One of the coolest moves. Finn, he gets a spinning DDT for a near fall. There's a dropkick into the corner, but Ziggler makes Finn get crotched. And, they start beating the crap out of Finn. It's all hopeless. But then Rollins comes in for the save. And Kurt comes out to announce a tag match right now. Crowd goes crazy. It starts. Dolph and Drew are on there like, what? And they try to walk away, but Finn and Seth come from behind, just bring them back in. There's a huge brawl at the beginning. And it starts with Ziggler and Rollins. And Seth and Dolph, they start off very fast paced, trying to doing really awesome shit. Finn eventually gets in and starts to beat up Dolph as well. But then Drew gets in after Dolph brings him to the corner and is just beating the shit out of Finn. Really kicking him, stopping him in the corner, just keeping him down. And he goes throat first into the barricade. And after just dominating him, Dolph gets in there to feel like a big, strong boy. But then Balor hits a Pele kick to set up the hot tag. And Balor is just about there, and Drew stops him right before he could get to that hot tag. And but eventually Finn stops him and gets the tag, leading to Seth to just kick these guys' asses and hit a suicide dive onto Drew and Dolph. Throws Ziggler into the barricade. Blockbuster for a near fall. Ziggler tries to interfere, but it doesn't work out. Chaos breaks out, and everybody's brawling, hitting super kicks, and then Drew gets Seth on his shoulders for a reverse Alabama slam, and bam, kills Seth. 1, 2, kick out, and everybody goes nuts. Rollins fights out of they go for a double team move. It looks like they're going for a Doomsday device or something like that. I don't know what they were going for. It was like a blockbuster, maybe. Oh, I think they do kind of like a double team, like electric chair blockbuster thing, if I remember. But yeah, Seth stops him. Hurricane Rana's Drew to the outside and hits a stomp on Dolph for the win. And this was an extremely awesome tag match. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's fun. It's fun. All 4 of these guys are awesome. Oh, I love these guys. There's a Bob interview. Says he's excited for the big match tonight. And this is why he came back. He mentions that Roman's a failure and Brock will be here next week and Bob's ready for him. I'm just always going to call him Bob from now on. Hope you don't mind. And Mr. Lashley, if you somehow ever find this, I'll call you Bob, Bobby, Robert, whatever you want. Just don't hurt me. Just contact me at Minnesota Joe Reviews on Twitter and Facebook Minnesota Joe Reviews. Just don't hurt me. Okay. Next match, Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan. No Sarah Logan. Like I said, we've seen this fucking match before, and I skipped it. I said, I'm not going to watch it again. I've been watching this match for weeks. This feud. It's been going on for a month. I'm tired of it. I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm skipping it because it was almost 1, and I'm like, I don't want to be here till 3 a.m. recording. So, yeah. Eclipse for a win. No surprise. Seth backstage, he said he met with Kurt Angle and the meeting went well, and him and Dolph will face at SummerSlam. Seth also mentioned the Evolution pay-per-view, but so yeah, it wasn't that big a mention. So congratulations to those women, really love them all. It's great, but yeah, then gets back on point. Which I'm like, all right, that's fine to do. But I mean, but it's like everybody's pounding it in your head tonight. Everything. Speaking of pounding in your head, Elias again says he's going to play his song, and Kurt interrupts him. Which I'm like, what? And he says, Elias, I'm going to let you play your song, okay? And Elias, after all night being interrupted, he finally gets this opportunity. He says, "Hello, I am Elias. I'm here to play a song off of my debut album, Walk with Elias," which I might do a review of like this week if I'm bored, if I have nothing going on, because I think it'd be fun. He says you should buy 2 copies of his album, one for you and one for the person you will become after listening to his album. I laughed. Listen, when Elias isn't getting interrupted, he's fun. And he starts to play a song, starting to sing, and then he stops and he's like, "I just feel off about tonight." He said, "Where am I?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Cincinnati." That explains it. And doesn't finish his song. And then Bobby Lashley comes out. Anyway, so that was kind of funny. I'll never get mad at you, Elias. I love you. Next, they announced that Ronda and Brock will be at Raw next week. So next week's Raw should be pretty big. Then you got Seth and Drew. You're going to get Finn Balor and Baron Corbin again, which is going to be boring. You're going to get Brock Roman's confrontation and much more. I hope it's, fun. Hope it's a good show. Roman gets a really good reaction tonight. Like, sure, there's the boos, and a lot of the cheers are like the women and kids, but you know what? Even there are men cheering for him tonight, Better than usual. Usually it's just women and children cheering for him, but everybody's cheering for him. So I'm happy to see that. Starts with the lockup. Roman and Bobby are fighting back and forth with each other. Like, after that lockup, Roman backs up. He starts going intense. Then Bobby gets back in the ring. Then he starts going intense. These guys are just like, you know what? Screw it. We're not here. This isn't our first tango. We're going to go hard. Lashley hit Roman with a belly-to-belly on the outside. Then when they got back in the ring, he hit this spine buster. Like, I think he hit at the pay-per-view too. He lifts the guy with one hand all the way up as high as he can and slams into the ground, which is awesome. Bobby Lashley. Oh, my God. And that was for a near fall. It's way more intense than the pay-per-view. They hit each other for a double clothesline, which I'm like, if this is the finish, I'm done. Because I know it's like there's like 5 minutes left in the show. Which I'm like, oh God. It's like they're either going to go over or they're just going to have a quick match, which is going to end in a double count out. And I'm going to be pissed. But no, it didn't. Let's see. It's a really great show for Bobby. He's doing like leaps over Roman Reigns. He's really doing cool stuff. There's callbacks to their first match where Roman, he gets him up on his shoulders for the Samoan drop, and Bobby goes back, and Roman tries to do the lift over again, but then Bobby gets on the apron. Roman tries to run him. He hits a clothesline on him. Just really cool stuff. There's a leg drop later into the back of Bobby's neck for a near fall. Shout out to Hulk Hogan. Superman punch was like a temp, but that got turned into the Master Lock. They call it the Full Nelson, but I call it the Master Lock because Chris Masters. Lashley is really doing a lot of submission wrestling at this point, which I'm like, oh, it's like I kind of like that. He's kind of like a little well-rounded in everything. Like, he's got, like, that power stuff like Roman, but he's also got some, like, submission stuff he can do. I don't think really Roman Reigns does submission stuff. Like, if he does, it's, like, really rare. So, yeah, I like Bobby Lashley. I think he's really great. Roman reverses it to a near fall. Lashley runs at him, hits the post. There's a power slam to Roman for a near fall. A very near fall. It's like very close. Lashley, he rolls out of the ring. Roman does the same and tries to hit a Superman punch, but goes for a belly to belly, but Bobby gets out of that. Roman gets out of that. Bobby throws Roman into the ring through the top and middle rope, and Roman lands on his neck. I'm like, oh my God, stop killing people tonight. But yeah, they get back in the ring. Lashley hits a spear on Roman, and I thought that was it. 1, and then 2.9, Roman gets the shoulder up, which is crazy. The crowd went nuts. That pop. I'm like, wow, this match is getting really good reaction out of the crowd. And not just, like, there's points where the crowd's a little dying down, but then they got back. It's like, this match was really good. Let's see, there's a Superman punch on Bob for a near fall. And then a spear by Roman for the win. A very great match. Way better than the pay-per-view. If I had to rate it, I'd give it an 8. I think the pay-per-view gave that a 7. This is probably an 8. It was an awesome match. I enjoyed myself, and I like Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns' feud right now. And, you know, I think this could be a good feud after SummerSlam and after everything. But I think having Roman win like this and not against Bobby and not like somebody else, it kind of hurts the story that you set up at Extreme Rules. Brian Alvarez was talking about this on Wrestling Observer Live and radio, which, by the way, if you don't watch those, check them out. They're great. Pay the subscription. It's like $7.99. Not too much. Or is it $11.99? Something like that. It's nice. It's a newsletter. It's radios. You like it. But anyways, but yeah, he's mentioning that, like, you know, there's a story with, like, Roman and Bobby, you know, like, Bobby won, and when Roman beats Brock, then you have Bobby Lashley to be like, hey, I beat you, so, you know, maybe I should be your first contender. So, you know, like you said, you have to, like, you can't just, you know, build your top guy without setting up his next opponent. You know, you have to have the next guy in line. Bobby was the next guy, and he still could be. They're tied 1-1, so, you know, had the big rubber match for the title after SummerSlam, but I mean, it's like, it would be a more interesting story if Bobby kept that win. I have that win over you, Roman, and you can't, and, like, Roman could be like, I want that win back. I'll even put my damn title on the line, because I want that win back. And then, you know, you can have Roman get his big win back, and then you had the rubber match. You could have set up, like, a couple matches there.
What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end.
But no, we gotta set up Roman and Brock, and we gotta sacrifice that. Honestly, you maybe should have had, like, Seth win, or you should have put Drew into the other one, because I think Roman versus Drew would be great, and, you know, you could have just Roman sneaking by a win, and then you set Drew up as, like, you know, I almost beat the big dog. I almost had my opportunity. Overall, I'd say Raw ended really strong with the tag and tag match in the main event. Watch both of those if you haven't. They're great. But the beginning of the show was so lackluster and boring. I didn't enjoy it. And then you had the Women's Evolution pay-per-view announced, which was amazing. I'm happy for the women. But they jammed it down your throat. I'm like, Roman Reigns doesn't get jammed down her throat this much. It's like crazy. Every segment about that. And then Elias every segment. And then we saw rematches all night. Surprisingly, the rematches from the pay-per-view were both rematches from the pay-per-view were better than the matches at the pay-per-view. But, you know, then you also had Mojo Rawley versus Tyler Breeze again. Then you had, then you basically had, you know, Bobby and Roman again, you know. But that was great. And then you had Liv Morgan versus Ember Moon again. It's like, lots of repetition tonight. Lots and lots of repetition. That was kind of the theme of the show. It was just really repetitive the whole night. I wouldn't recommend watching the whole show. I would definitely recommend watching the tag match and the main event. Everything else, I'd skip. But yeah, that's it for me tonight. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you like my content. And yeah, just happy to be here, happy to be alive, happy to have a great time. Well, all I could say is goodbye.